K-State returned home the following week to try and complete its first perfect non-conference record since 1954 against the running Rebels of Nevada, Las Vegas. The Wildcats found themselves behind at home at halftime for the first time since the 1991 season, as UNLV jumped out to a 14-10 lead. After a 45-yard Tate Wright field goal pulled the Cats within one, cornerback Kenny McIntyre picked off his first interception of the season to set up the Wildcats' go-ahead score.
Offset eye, play fake, back to throw is Stockham, throws over the middle, the pass is intercepted by McIntyre at the 35, he's at the 30, McIntyre's at the 25-20, he breaks two tackles, he's down to the 15-yard line, Kenny McIntyre!
J.J. Smith put K-State ahead for good with this 1-yard run, and the Cats stretched the lead to 22-14 when the punt coverage team added this safety.
Gets the kick away. High knuckleball type kick. Bailey will take it at the 10. Now fumbles the ball at the 5. The ball is loose at the 1-yard line. It rolls into the end zone. The ball's still loose. Did UNLV pick it up? It's a safety. It's a safety as UNLV recovers it in the end zone. Give 2 points to Kansas State.
Wide receiver Andre Coleman then put the game out of reach with another brilliant play with this catch and run of 67 yards.
May back to throw. Here comes the blitz. They throw the quick slant to Coleman. Coleman's up across the 40, breaks tackles. He's outside. He's at the 50, 45, 40, 35, 30, 25, 20. He'll go all the way down the near sideline, breaking 2 tackles.
Rod Schiller added an 8-yard touchdown run late in the game to give K-State a victory and a perfect 4-0 non-conference record. KSU Stadium bulged at the seams as a rockin' record crowd of just over 44,000 people turned out to see Kansas State knock off arch rival Kansas for the second time in 3 years. K-State got all the points it needed in its first 2 possessions to jump out to a 10-0 lead before turning the game over to the Wildcat defense. K-State drove 68 yards on its first drive and stunned the Jayhawks with an early touchdown strike as Chad May found Andre Coleman.
First and 10, K-State at the Jayhawk 19-yard line. May this time with a long count. Play fake. Wants to throw. Holding, firing for the end zone. Coleman's got a touchdown, K-State. Chad May fires a bullet on the hitch route to Coleman in the end zone, and K-State's on the board first.
Tate Wright provided the game-winning points with this career-long 50-yard field goal in the first quarter.
Snap down, placement, the kick is up, a high spinning kick with the wind, the kick is up, and it is good! It's the longest kick in Tate Wright's career, a 50-yard field goal at 4:51 left to go in the first quarter, and the score, Kansas State 10, Kansas nothing.
And at a 10-0 lead, the Wildcat defense was simply spectacular as it held Kansas without a touchdown in the Sunflower Showdown for the first time since 1966. All the Jayhawks could muster against K-State were 3 Dan Eicloff field goals, as 5 Wildcat defenders registered at least 10 tackles, including 19 by senior All-American Jamie Mendez. But the game wasn't over until the final gun sounded as Kansas tried to get into position for a late score to win the game.
Back to throw is Preston. Sets up. Now he's going to try to run the football. He is at the 50. He is at the 45. He is at the 40. The clock is out, and the game is over. K-State's won the game as Preston ran out of bounds. Preston ran out of bounds, and K-State's won the football game. The game is over, and K-State wins it 10-9 as the defense stiffens for Kansas State in the second half. Wind it on up. Final score, K-State 10, Kansas 9. And for the Wildcats and Coach Bill Snyder, a big K-State victory.
The 17-point final margin doesn't begin to tell the whole story as Kansas State put a monumental scare into the Huskers of Nebraska for the second time in 3 years at sold-out Memorial Stadium. The Wildcats amassed more total offense and more first downs, but couldn't overcome 3 turnovers and a pair of missed scoring opportunities inside the Husker 5, as Nebraska held on to a 45-28 win to keep its national title hopes alive. Riding the rifle-throwing arm of junior quarterback Chad May, who set a Big 8 record with 489 passing yards on 30 of 51 completions, the Wildcats piled up the second highest yardage total ever registered against Nebraska in the Tom Osborne era. J.J. Smith had a brilliant first half with 2 scores, including this tackle-breaking reception to tie the game at 7-7 in the first quarter.
And again, rolling out again with lots of time, lobbing one up, and it is caught. J.J. Smith. There's a flag down back at the line of scrimmage. Smith still on his feet. Touchdown if it stands. Let's see. It's against Nebraska. That's a touchdown.
The two teams traded blows throughout the first half, but Nebraska took a 31-14 halftime lead by virtue of an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty that extended a Husker drive and a K-State interception at the NU goal line. K-State simply dominated the third quarter by outgaining the Nebraska Cornhuskers 160 yards to 40 and closed the gap to 31-28 midway through the fourth quarter when Chad May hooked up with freshman Kevin Lockett.
May looking long, wide open, Lockett! Touchdown, Kansas State! Wow! Oh boy, how did he get that open?
K-State's final bid for a victory was foiled on a fourth down play inside the Nebraska 5, and the Huskers added 2 late scores to hand the Wildcats their first defeat of the season. Perhaps Wichita Eagle columnist Fred Mann wrote it best when he penned, "If a tie is like kissing your sister, Kansas State's sister is Daryl Hannah, and Colorado's sister is Roseanne Arnold." K-State overcame 2 costly turnovers and used a staunch defensive performance to forge a 16-16 tie against number 16 Colorado in the first ever game between 2 ranked teams at KSU Stadium. K-State entered the game ranked 25th in the USA Today coaches poll. The Wildcats relied on a strong defensive performance to force Colorado into 3 first-half field goals as the Buffs took a 9-0 halftime lead. But the second half would belong to Kansas State.
May takes the snap with an empty backfield, looks right, now being chased, running to the right, pumping, now fires downfield, pass is tiptoed, cut by Lockett at the 16-yard line. In there for Lockett, handoff goes on the sweep play outside, Schiller's got it, he's at the 10, he is tackled at the 5-yard line. Running is a flanker to the right side, back to throw, made 2-step, lofting a pass for the end zone, looking for Coleman, the pass is tipped, no cut, touchdown K-State, it went off the arms of Chris Hudson, who had a chance to intercept it, then it flew into the arms of Andre Coleman for a K-State touchdown.
Trailing 9-6, K-State opened the fourth quarter with a 13-play, 77-yard drive to take a 13-9 lead on this pass from Chad May to senior tight end Brad Side.
May fakes the handoff, looking right, wants to throw the football, now throws for the end zone, pass caught by Side, touchdown! Brad Side makes the catch, 9.5 yards deep in the end zone. K-State takes the lead.
After a K-State turnover, Colorado regained the lead 16-13 with 3:57 left to play, which set up another miraculous finish.
Fourth down, 15 for K-State. They trail 16-13, a minute 38 left to go in the game. Chad May shifting the pocket, now steps up, is going to run the football. Now lofts the football, throws to Lockett. He makes a catch at the 50. He's at the 45. It's a legal pass, 40. Lockett's at the 35, 30, and goes out of bounds at the 25-yard line and stops the clock with a minute 26 left to go in the ball game.
Tate Wright then kicked the biggest field goal of his career as the Wildcats had a 16-16 tie to keep their dreams of a New Year's Day bowl and national ranking alive.